こんにちは、Japanese AmoのMisa です。Hey guys, today I'm going to explain the differences between the de particle and the ni particle. So this is one of the most common mistakes that I see, and the reason why a lot of learners confuse these particles is because both particles could be translated as at or in. But once you learn the rules and the differences, you'll be able to use them fluently. For example, if you use the ni particle where you really should use the de particle, you end up sounding like a foreigner, unfortunately. Though it's such a small mistake, Japanese people pick up on it. Even if your vocabulary is huge, if you make that mistake, you don't sound fluent. So you really want to nail this down. So I said both particles, the ni particle and the de particle, could mean at or in English. The de particle is really the one that usually, or most of the time, means at or in. So this de particle usually indicates location and should act like the prepositions at or in. So for example, if you want to make a sentence, I ate pizza at the restaurant. Restaurant, we say restaurant, easy, right? Restaurant. And if you want to say at the restaurant, you want to use the de particle. But unlike English, we put the particle after the word that should be modified. So in English you say at, the preposition first, then restaurant, right? In Japanese you want to say restaurant de. Restaurant de. It's the same with any particles, even the wa particle, which is called topic marker. It just shows what we are talking about in a sentence. You want to put after the topic. So if you're talking about yourself, you end up saying watashi wa, right? Never wa watashi, because that sounds silly. So restaurant de is at the restaurant. I already made a video about the word order in Japanese, so you can check that out if you haven't watched it. But the word order in the sentence would look very different from the one in English. So you'd say like, I ate pizza at the restaurant. You put at the restaurant at the end. But in Japanese, we would put that at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence, never at the end of a sentence, because what you want to put at the end of the sentence is the verb. So it would look like at the restaurant, pizza, ate. You also don't have to put the word I, because we don't really like to repeat the word I. If you keep saying watashi wa, watashi wa, watashi wa in every single sentence, it sounds annoying. Japanese is all about context. When you omit a subject, people usually assume that you're talking about yourself. So you really don't have to say the word watashi wa. But if you have to clarify that you're talking about yourself, you were talking about your friend a minute ago, and now you want to talk about yourself, then yeah, feel free to put the word watashi wa right at the beginning. But unless you really have to clarify, put the location or time first at the beginning. So restaurant de comes first, and then pizza, pizza, pizza o, and then the verb ate. 食べました formally or 食べた informally. So the whole sentence would look like レストランでピザを食べました or レストランでピザを食べた. So now you might be thinking that whenever we want to say at the restaurant, you'd use the de particle, right? But that's not the case. We could be using the ni particle to mean at the restaurant. Like you could say restaurant ni. So then what's the difference, right? It actually really depends on the verb in a sentence. So the reason why we use the de particle here is because of the verb to eat, 食べる, or in the past tense, 食べた. So in some languages, you'd choose the preposition depending on the word that you put right away. So that because of the word restaurant, you end up saying at or, in. But in Japanese, you choose which particle to use depending on the last main verb. So you'd never use the ni particle with the verb 食べる, for example. So the kind of verbs that would require the de particle to indicate location is any verb that is about action. So it could be to eat, 食べる, to drink, 飲む, to read, 読む, to speak, 話す, to sing, 歌う, even to play games, ゲームする. The easiest way to remember is actually most verbs would use で as at or in. So if you just use the で particle as at or in, you would be correct most of the time. There aren't actually that many verbs that use the に particle as at or in. I will explain this again in a minute, but the common verbs that you'd use the に particle as at or in are verbs that focus on where you are, or like your residency. So verbs like to live, 住む, or to stay, 泊まる. There is another verb that means to stay, 滞在する. I'll explain the differences between them later. And verbs that mean to exist, which are いる and ある. These two should be remembered as a set. But if you say someone がいる, then that means someone is at or in a place. Or you could also translate there is someone in a place. Or if you say something がある, then that means there is something. The differences between ある and いる is that いる is only used for living things. So humans, animals, not plants, but usually just humans and animals. And ある would be non-living objects. So like a chair, a camera, a computer, a tree. Those are the verbs that would use the に particle as at or in. So for example, if you want to say I'm at the restaurant, right? You don't want to say I ate at the restaurant, but you just want to say I'm at the restaurant. So you want to tell the listener where you are. It's not about your action. It's not about you doing something at the restaurant, but rather just you being there. Then you'd use the verb いる to express where you are. So with the verb いる, you want to use the に particle to indicate location. So you'd end up saying レストランにいる informally and レストランにいます formally. So it's that simple. Again, you don't even have to say 私は, right? So you just say レストランにいる or レストランにいます. So whenever you want to say I'm in this place or I'm at this place, you just want to say place にいる informally and place にいます. Sometimes we don't even use the word いる. We just say place です or place without any verb informally. Like if someone says like where are you now, and I'm saying I'm home, you say うち or うちです. Or if you want to say I'm in Tokyo now, you can just say 今東京 and that means I'm in Tokyo. Yeah, obviously you can also say 今東京にいる or 今東京にいます. 今東京 is a casual but common way to say I'm in Tokyo. And if you want to say 今東京 or 今東京です. In this sentence, the subject or the topic I is omitted. So the whole sentence is either 私は今東京です. Speaking of myself, it's Tokyo now. Or you could think that the subject where I am right now is omitted. So the actual sentence could be like where I am right now is Tokyo. So 私のいるところは東京です. So you could think like that too. But either way, 東京です literally means it's Tokyo. And when you use the verb です, you don't really use the で particle or に particle, but you use the は particle. So when you want to say it's hot in Tokyo, you don't really say 東京で暑い or 東京に暑い, but we rather say 東京は暑い. So Tokyo wa is like as for Tokyo, speaking of Tokyo, it's hot. So we think differently. Like we don't want to say it's hot in Tokyo, but we want to say I'm going to talk about Tokyo and it's hot. But yeah, anyway, the で particle or the に particle don't really work well with the verb です. So a lot of the time people say blah blah で hot です, cold です, expensive です. But we just say place は hot, cold, expensive です. So like ロンドンは housing in London is expensive, we would say, as for houses of London, they're expensive. So we would end up saying, ロンドンの家は高いです。ロンドンの家は高いです。or ロンドンに住むのは高いです。Anyway, let's see how the de particle is used as at or in with more verbs. So as long as the verb is about doing something, you'd use the de particle to indicate location, right? So for example, I drink beer in the pub. Since the verb to drink is about you doing something, it's action, you want to use the de particle to say in the pub. So you want to say in the pub, パブで And then a verb always comes at the end, right? Then what's left is the word beer. So you want to say that in front of the verb. So ビールを and then to drink 飲む So パブでビールを飲む パブでビールを飲む You want to, for example, say I drink beer in the pub after work. And now we want to say when the speaker drinks, right? And when you want to make a sentence in Japanese, it's easy to remember that you want to say when first, then where, and then object. You could actually swap the order, but normally we tend to put when you do that at the beginning. So after work, you can say 仕事の後 So you just put that right at the beginning and say 仕事の後 in the pub. パブでビールを飲む。仕事の後、パブでビールを飲む。Or if you want to say I study Japanese at the university. Again, studying is action. So to say at the university, you want to use the de particle. University, we say 大学 So can you guess how we say at the university? 大学で So you say 大学で and then study Japanese 日本語を and then you could say 日本語を勉強します but this could also imply that I will study Japanese in the university because if you use the present tense, it could mean that you do something regularly, but it could also mean that you will do something in the future. So to avoid that, you want to use the present progressive, present continuous form. Like instead of I study Japanese, we say I've been studying or I'm studying Japanese at the university. So you want to say 大学で日本語を勉強しています。大学で日本語を勉強しています。So whenever you study or whenever you are studying something, it's best to use the 勉強しています form instead of 勉強します because 勉強します really could imply that I will study. So be careful. Or if you want to say I play games at home, again you want to use the de particle to say at home because of the verb to play games. So home you can say うち So うちで is how we say at home. So うちで games ゲームを And then when you want to say to play games generally, you want to say ゲームをする But you want to say the specific title of the game. So you want to say like I play Zelda, you want to say Zelda or I usually use the word やる or プレイする So you say ゼルダをやる or ゼルダをプレイする It's not really common to say ゼルダをする You could, but usually you say the game and then をやる or プレイする プレイする obviously comes from the word to play in English. But yeah, うちでゲームをする And if you want to make this sentence a bit more complicated, like you want to say I like to play games at home, then you might think you have to add the word to like, then the verb might change. No, the verb stays the same because at home is really modifying the verb to play, not to like. You're not saying I like at home, but you're saying I like, and then kind of separately playing games at home, right? And also, to like is not really a verb in Japanese. Yes, to like is a verb in English, but not in Japanese. It is actually an adjective. I like something, you say something ga suki desu, right? Something ga suki desu. So you end up saying うちでゲームをするのが好きです。うちでゲームをするのが好きです。I already explained why we put the no particle in my absolute beginner lesson, so check that out. Even if you add 好きです, you still want to use the de particle as at. Or if you want to say, I talked to my friend on Skype. Even if it's not an like actual place, you can still use a de particle. So you can always say app de, like アプリ is how we say app. So アプリで, then that means on the app. On Tinder, you'd say Tinder で. Online, the app called Line. LINE で. On the internet, we say ネットで, ネットで. Or on the site, on the website, サイトで, サイトで. But remember, depending on the verb, you might have to use the ni particle, right? For example, I read articles on the website. Then reading is action, so you still use the de particle, like サイトで記事を読む. But if you want to say there are articles on the website, this is not about doing something, but you're just saying where the articles are located. So you end up saying サイトに記事がある。サイトに記事がある。Anyway, I talk to my friends on Skype. On Skype, you say Skype で、Skype で. And then talk to friends, or we really say talk with, speak with friends. So we want to use the to particle as with. Yeah, the to particle could mean and also with. So if you say someone to, then you should usually translate as with someone. But obviously if it's like someone to someone, so the to particles between two nouns, then you'd want to translate as and. But anyway, with friends we'd say 友達と、友達と. So you say Skype で友達と話す。Skype で友達と話す。You can swap the order and say 友達と Skype で話す. But like I said, it's more common to put location first. Or if you want to say I bought manga on Amazon. Again, Amazon is just a website, but you can still use the de particle because buying is action. So Amazon で Amazon で and then 漫画を買いました。Amazon で漫画を買いました。It doesn't matter where you're buying really. Even if you buy manga in Walmart, you'd still use the de particle because of the verb 買う。Walmart でケーキを買ったを買いました。コンビニでおにぎりを買いました。So with most verbs, you'd use the de particle as at or in. But there is kind of a weird verb that is not really doing anything, but we still use the de particle, which is the verb to sleep, 寝る. We'd say place で寝る. So you might be thinking, wait, you're not really doing anything while you sleep. But technically you burn calories while you sleep, apparently. So yeah, you know, you're doing something while you're sleeping. Again, because sleeping is not really about where you are, but rather you're technically doing something. So we use the de particle. And you know, sometimes sleeping can be exhausting. I'm usually chased by zombies and you know, it's really tiring to run away from them. Yeah, so you want to say place で寝る. So for example, you can obviously say ベッドで寝る. But you want to, for example, make a sentence like I slept on the couch last night. You want to say last night first because you want to say when first, right? Then where, and then the verb. So last night you can either say sakuya if you want to be very formal. Or you can say 昨日の夜. 昨日の夜, which literally means yesterday's night. So 昨日の夜 and then on the couch or on the sofa. We say sofa. So sofa で and then we want to put the verb to sleep in the past tense. So 寝る becomes 寝ました formally or 寝た informally. So 昨日の夜ソファーで寝ました formally. 昨日の夜ソファーで寝た informally. For the formal sentence you can also say 昨夜 but 昨日の夜 is very common. Alright, so I said we normally use the de particle to indicate location, but sometimes we also use the de particle not just as at or in. So sometimes we don't use the de particle to indicate location, but the de particle can also be translated like by using something. So in English, saying by using is not the most common way. So for example, I write kanji with this pen. In English you use the preposition with, but you can't use the to particle to mean with a pen. Like the only time we use the to particle as with is if you're talking about you're doing something with someone. If you say pen to kaku, then it sounds like this pen is your friend, imaginary friend, and you're like, yeah, let's write it, dude. It's just, I don't know, it maybe sound like a stoner. So you don't really want to do that. You want to really say that you're using the pen to write instead of I'm writing something with this friend, pen-chan. So you want to say pen de to mean by using a pen. The only reason why I translate the particle de as by using is because like if I say with, then a lot of people get confused. Like people start using de for with friends, but if you say tomodachi de, then that would mean by using my friend. So for example, I fight with friends, like fight as in like fight a battle with my friend. You want to say tomodachi to tatakau. Tatakau is about a battle, not like arguments. It's like you're at war and you're fighting, or you're in anime and fighting. Yeah, so you normally say tomodachi to tatakau, but if you say tomodachi de tatakau, then it sounds like you're literally using the friend. You are throwing your friend to hit somebody. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you don't confuse them. Anyway, with a pen, you say pen de, pen de. If you want to say with this pen, then you just add the word this in front of pen. So you say kono pen de, kono pen de. So you want to say kono pen de kanji o kaku. Kono pen de kanji o kaku. Or if you want to say I can eat with chopsticks, again you'd use the de particle as with chopsticks. So chopsticks we say ohashi, ohashi. So ohashi de, then that means with chopsticks, by using chopsticks. So ohashi de, and then you want to say can eat, you say taberareru informally and taberaremasu formally. Or if you want to say I take a picture with my camera, you want to say kamera de to mean with a camera, with my camera, kamera de, and then to take a picture. 写真を撮る、写真を撮る。カメラで写真を撮る。Or if you're taking a picture using your phone or iPhone for example, then you say iPhone で写真を撮る。iPhone で写真を撮る。Or if you cut, for example, paper with scissors, you say ハサミで紙を切る。ハサミで紙を切る。Or if you're eating with your hand, using your hand, then you say 手で食べる。手で食べる。So for example, 手でピザを食べる。手でピザを食べる。But you want to say the queen eats pizza with a fork and knife. You say 女王はフォークとナイフでピザを 食べます。女王はフォークとナイフでピザを食べます。And you can also talk about transportation, like by plane. You can use the de particle. So like I will go to Japan by airplane. You say 飛行機で and then to Japan you want to use the ni particle. So I'm gonna explain this in a minute. The ni particle is mainly used to indicate direction or destination. So whenever you want to say go to this place, you can think that you always use the ni particle. So you say 飛行機で日本に行く。飛行機で日本に行く。So you're using the airplane to go to Japan. So now let's take a look at this ni particle. Like I said, the ni particle is used to indicate direction, destination. We would always use the ni particle with verbs like to go, 行く, to come, 来る, to return, 帰る if you're returning home. So to go home, you'd always use the verb 帰る. And if you're returning to a place that is not your home, you say somewhere に戻る. And also if you're returning something to a person or to, for example, the library, you returning it to someone, right? So you'd use the ni particle with the verb 返す. So 返す is returning an object, and 帰る is you return home. So it's pretty simple. So most of the time when you want to say to in English, we'd use the ni particle. So you want to say I go to work. Then to work, you want to say 仕事に. And then we put the verb at the end, right? So to go, 行く would come after the particle に. So you say 仕事に行く. So if you want to say I go to work from Monday to Friday, you say 月曜日から金曜日まで仕事に行く or 行きます formally. 月曜日から金曜日まで means from Monday to Friday. Yeah, and then you're thinking, wait, so we can't use the ni particle to mean to Friday? Yeah, unfortunately you can't. When you want to say from A to B, we always use this. A から B まで. So you just need to remember that. Or if you want to say, Kaori didn't come to school today. Then again, come to school, you want to use the ni particle. So 学校 is how we say school, right? So 学校に and then didn't come. You want to conjugate the verb 来る. And 来る is irregular, so it's kind of weird. But if you're speaking formally, you say 来ませんでした. 来ませんでした. So you say 香りは今日学校に来ませんでした. 香りは subject. 今日 today. We say when before where, right? So 今日学校に where? To school. 学校に来ませんでした. If you want to say this informally, you only change the verb and you say 来なかった. And when we speak informally, we often omit this ni particle. You don't even really have to use the ni particle when we're talking to friends. So instead of I go to work, 仕事に行く, we can also just say 仕事行く. Or if you want to say I will go to California, you say カリフォルニア行く instead of カリフォルニアに行く. And the verb to go home, 帰る. If you're going home, you don't have to add the word うちに to mean to go home, because the verb 帰る already implies that you're going home. I mean, you can still say うちに帰る, but you know that's longer. So we normally just say 帰る. So remember, 帰る is returning home. It could also be hometown or home country, but you can't use it to mean to go back to work, to go back to a restaurant. You can't do that. For that kind of sentence, you want to use the verb 戻る. To go back to work, you say 仕事に戻る. 仕事に戻る. The only time you can use 帰る is when you're talking about hometown. So I would say 日本に帰る to mean to go back to Japan because Japan is my home. But for example, if I consider Canada as my home, then I could technically say カナダに帰る as well. Even if I'm not from Canada, if I feel like I belong there, I could technically say カナダに帰る. But if I'm just visiting there, then I would say カナダに行く to go. Or if you want to say I'm going back to Japan, but Japan is not my home, then 日本に戻る or 日本にまた行く. That's the most common way to say I'm going back to a place, as in I'm going there again. So 日本にまた行く or また日本に行く また日本に行く. So whenever you want to say going to a place, you normally use the に particle, right? But there is an exception. When you want to say I walk to this place or I'm running to this place, you can't use the に particle, but unfortunately you have to use まで with verb 歩く and also 走る. So I'm walking to a place. You never say blah blah に歩く. You have to say blah blah まで歩く. So 駅まで歩く is how we say I walk to the station, or 駅まで走る I run to the station. And as long as the に particle is used to indicate direction, it doesn't have to be you going somewhere. If you're giving something to someone, again that's still direction. So you want to use the に particle with the verb あげる. And if you're writing a letter to someone, again you'd use the に particle. And if you're sending something to a place or to someone, you'd use the に particle. So for example, Santa Claus gives presents to children, right? So you want to say サンタさんは to children, 子供にプレゼントをあげる。サンタさんは子供にプレゼントをあげる。And in English, you can also say Santa Claus gives children presents. In English, there is a way to make a sentence without the preposition to, right? But you can't do that in Japanese. It's always someone に something をあげる. If you're sending a letter to your mom, you say to mom letter or to send. So お母さんに手紙を送る。お母さんに手紙を送る。Or if you're writing a letter to your mom, then お母さんに手紙を書く。お母さんに手紙を書く。Remember, this に particle is used to indicate direction, not location. So you shouldn't translate it as I'm writing a letter inside of my mother. If you want to add location to this sentence, so you want to, for example, say I'm writing a letter to my mom in a cafe, you'd want to use the で particle because writing is action. So you say カフェでお母さんに手紙を書く。カフェでお母さんに手紙を書く。So the に particle is usually used as to, but there is a verb that you want to be careful, which is もらう. もらう means to receive. And when you receive something, you usually say from whom or from where, right? And the word from, we normally use から. For example, I brought clothes from the US. You want to say アメリカから服を持ってきました. So you'd say から. But this verb もらう is very strange. You want to use the に particle to indicate where from. So you say お父さんに時計をもらったor もらいました to mean I got my watch from my father. It doesn't mean I received my watch to my father. Just the verb もらう is strange. Whenever you want to say I got something from someone, you say someone に something をもらう. You can actually use
the word kara with morao and say someone kara something o morao, but this is not as common as someone ni something o morao. So you have to just remember. So the ni particle is usually translated as to, but the ni particle is also used like onto or into. So for example, we use the ni particle with the verb to put. So when you are putting something on a table, for example, you could think it like I'm putting a glass onto the table, right? Again, you want to indicate direction where you're putting to. So we would say テーブルにコップを置く。テーブルにコップを置く。We say place に something を置く。So if you're putting a bag on the floor, you can again think it like onto the floor. So floor we say 床. So you end up saying 床にカバンを置く。床にカバンを置く。This verb 置く is only used when you're putting something on the place, like on the surface. If you're putting something inside something, we actually used a different verb, 入れる。So if you put your hands in the pocket, like inside a pocket, you say ポケットに into the pocket. ポケットに手を入れる。ポケットに手を入れる。Or if you put a mirror in the bag, you say カバンに to mean into a bag. カバンに鏡を入れる。カバンに鏡を入れる。By the way, we have something called transitive and intransitive verb. I'll make a lesson about it anyway, but 入れる is transitive verb, and this verb 入れる has a brother, and that brother is called intransitive verb, and that is 入る。入る means to enter or to get in. 入れる is you put something inside something, but you're the one who is going inside a place. You want to use the verb 入る。If you think it like to get into, then you know it makes sense to use the particle に, right? So you say somewhere に入る. So if you enter the room, you want to say 部屋に入る. 部屋に入る. And I think if you hear Japanese people speak English, you'd hear that a lot of Japanese people make a mistake, like I enter to a place. It's because we use the に particle with the verb 入る. So we kind of want to say to, you know, when we use the verb to enter. But yeah, we say somewhere に入る. Even when we're talking about taking a bath, we think more like to get inside a bath. So we say お風呂に入る。お風呂に入る. And also when you say get in a taxi, like to take a taxi, we would also use the に particle, because again you're showing direction, like you're getting into a taxi, really. So you say タクシーに, and then we use the verb to ride. So we say タクシーに乗る。タクシーに乗る. So when you get on the bus, train, we also use に乗る. So 電車に乗る。バスに乗る. That's how we say I take a bus, I take a train, I take a taxi. You always say バスに乗る。電車に乗る。タクシーに乗る. And this 乗る also means to ride. So when you ride a bike, you also say 自転車に乗る。自転車に乗る. Alright, so now you know that we use the に particle to indicate direction. But we also use the に particle as at or in, like I said, but only with verbs that focus on where you are, your residency. I already listed the verbs, but I'll say again. When you want to say I live in a place, we use the に particle. So if you want to say I live in, for example, Australia, you'd say オーストラリア ni. And then when you look up the verb to live, you might get the verb sumu, which is right. We want to use the verb sumu. But if you say オーストラリアに住む, then you're talking about the future because sumu is in the present tense, but it's really also the future tense. So オーストラリアに住む would end up meaning I will live in Australia. So when you want to say I live in Australia now, you want to conjugate the verb 住む and say 住んでいる informally and 住んでいます formally. So you say オーストラリアに住んでいる or オーストラリアに住んでいます. And if you want to, for example, say I live in California, the US, right? We want to say アメリカのカリフォルニアに住んでいる or 住んでいます. So you want to say country の city or state に住んでいます. So like I live in Tokyo, Japan. You'd say 日本の東京に住んでいます. Obviously this sounds a bit weird in Japanese because everyone knows where Tokyo is. But a lot of Japanese people really don't know many countries or many cities in the world. So it might be helpful if you say like アメリカのケンタッキーに住んでいます. Maybe people know where Kentucky is, but if you say I live in Kent, people wouldn't know that that's in England. So you want to say イギリスのケントに住んでいます. So yeah, the common mistake is to use the で particle with the verb 住んでいる, but it's not correct. So don't say 日本で住んでいる because that sounds weird. 日本に住んでいる to mean I live in Japan. And other similar verbs are 泊まる and 泊まる means to stay. But you'd use this verb when you stay at your friend's place or hotel. So you say ホテルに泊まる. ホテルに泊まる to mean I will stay in a hotel. But if you want to say I'm staying at the 旅館, you say 旅館に泊まっています. Again, you want to put the verb 泊まる into the present progressive form. So you say 旅館に泊まっている informally or 旅館に泊まっています. But if you're staying in the city, we don't really use the verb 泊まる, but we use the verb 滞在する. 滞在する. So you say place に滞在しています. So for example, 東京に滞在しています. Then that means I'm staying in Tokyo. This is quite a formal word, so it's great if you're talking to like an immigration officer, like 東京に滞在します. It would mean I will stay in Tokyo. But if you're just talking to your friend, for example, you could just say 東京にいる to mean I'm in Tokyo. And yeah, with this verb いる, again, you want to use the に particle. So whenever you want to say I'm in a place or I'm at this place, you want to say place にいます. It doesn't have to be just I. Like if you want to say my parents are in Portugal, you want to say 親 to mean parent, or you could also use the word 両親, which means both parents. So 両親はポルトガルにいる. Then that means my parents are in Portugal. 両親はポルトガルにいる. I already made a lesson about the differences between いる and ある, so check that out. I also explained the differences between 両親はポルトガルにいる and 両親がポルトガルにいる. And again, if you want to say there is something in a place, you'd use the verb ある. So when you're talking about objects, you say object がある, right? So if I want to say I have lots of plush toys in my room, we want to say in my room using the に particle, and then lots of plush toys, and then がある. So room, we say 部屋, 部屋. So you say 部屋に to mean in the room or in my room, 部屋に. And then plush toys or stuffed animals, we say ぬいぐるみ, ぬいぐるみ. But if you want to say lots of plush toys, lots of stuffed animals, you say たくさんぬいぐるみ. Or we can also put たくさん after the が particle. Something がたくさんある。So 部屋にたくさんぬいぐるみがある is how we say there are lots of plush toys in my room. Also when you want to say I have books, you could also use the verb ある and say 本がある。本がある。I have lots of books in my bookshelf. You say 本棚にたくさん本がある。本棚にたくさん本がある。So you have to use the に particle with the verbs いる and ある. But there is an exception. With the verb ある, you sometimes use the で particle to indicate location. The only time you do that is when you're talking about an event or an accident. So when you want to say there was an accident in Shinjuku, for example, you say 新宿で事故があった informally, or 新宿で事故がありました. So when we talk about accidents or events, you can't say 新宿に事故が. You want to say 新宿で事故がありました. It doesn't have to be an accident. It can be an event like concert. You also say place でコンサートがある. So for example, there is a concert in Tokyo, or there will be a concert in Tokyo. You say 東京でコンサートがある. 東京でコンサートがある. For example, 東京でラッドウィンプスのコンサートがある. And also, I said we use the に particle with the verb 住む to live, but we have a few more ways to say to live. So if you look up the word to live, you'll probably find quite a few of them. So 住む is all about where you are, where your residency is. But if you're talking about life or death, like if someone says I want to live when that person is dying, then that person wouldn't use the verb 住む. Like if you say 住みたい, then that means I want to live in a place. Like I want to live in Vancouver, I would say バンクーバーに住みたい. But if I mean like I don't want to die, then I would use the verb 生きる 生きる. So I would say 生きたい 生きたい to mean I want to live. There are also two more verbs that you want to know. 生活する also means to live. 生活する. While 住む is about your residency, 生活する is more about your lifestyle, how you live. Like your life in Japan is hard, and you'd probably use the verb 生活する or the noun 生活. Like 日本の生活 would mean life in Japan. Yeah, with this verb 生活する, you have to use the で particle because it's not about where you are, but rather how you live. Like you have to do stuff to live. So 生活する is action. So you say 日本で生活する to mean I live in Japan, but not like you're talking about where you are, but rather like you live a life, you have a life in Japan. There is another verb 暮らす. This is very similar. It's about how you live as well. So when you want to say I live in Japan, you normally say 日本に住んでいる if you're talking about just location, right? Where you live. But you can also say 日本で生活する or 日本で暮らす if you're talking more about the lifestyle. There are a few more verbs that use the に particle. The verbs 立つ to stand and 座る to sit. These two verbs you want to use the に particle to say where you sit or where you stand. So if you sit on a chair, you say 椅子に座る 椅子に座る. You could think it like you sit down, like you sit onto a chair. 椅子に座る. If you stand on something, you actually have to add the word 上, which means top or above or on. So you want to say something の上に立つ when you stand on something. 椅子の上に立つ and that means you stand on a chair. And the verb to work for. So normally the verb to work, you can use the verb 仕事する or 働く. These are the most common ways to say to work. if you're working, for example, at McDonald's, you say マクドナルドで働く。マクドナルドで働く. That's the most common way to say I work at McDonald's. So you have to use the で particle because working is action, doing something, right? I work at home, so うちで仕事する。うちで仕事する. But there is a verb to work for, which is 勤める。勤める. And this verb 勤める is really about where you belong as an employee. You can say company に勤めています. Then that means I work for a company. Like Google に勤めています is how we say I work for Google. And you have to use the に particle, so you have to be careful with that. Like I said, it's because it's about where you are in terms of work. If you want to say where you're working, like doing the actual job, you use the で particle because you're working as action. And the last thing, you also use the に particle to indicate time. For example, I wake up at 7 o'clock. You want to use the に particle as at 7 o'clock. So you say 7時 to mean 7 o'clock. So 7時に起きる or 7時に起きます. So whenever you want to say at this o'clock, you use the に particle. You also want to use the に particle when you want to say in July, in October. So for example, I'll go to Japan in August. You say 8月に日本に行く. 8月に日本に行く. You can also use the に particle with the days of the week. I will hang out with my friend on Saturday. You say 土曜日に友達と遊ぶ. 土曜日に友達と遊ぶ. But you don't use the に particle with words like today, yesterday, tomorrow. So you don't want to say 今日に or anything. You always just say 今日 or 今日は if you want to talk about today. Like, you know, you don't say at today in English either. So maybe that's easy to remember. But yeah, we don't want to use the に particle with words like 今日、明日、昨日. Alright, I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I would really appreciate if you could consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much. Alright, じゃあありがとうね。バイバイ。